Oh, keep that music going, baby. That's very cool music. Hi, Orange County. This is Alan Ross, President and CEO of AJRoss Creative Media. Welcome to Creative Marketing on WTBQ. AJRoss Creative Media is a full-service marketing, digital, and advertising agency located in Chester, New York. Every week we'll be discussing different topics and trends that can help market your business. I'm better this week.
There you go. Now you're awake.
Okay. If you would like to call us and ask a question or want to give your input, you could call us at 845-651-1110. 845-651-1110. The fifth caller will get a free brochure. Text your questions or comments to 845-397-7743. We are also live streaming at facebook.com/AJRoss Creative. Again, facebook.com/AJRoss Creative. We have to share that we're on the air, Matt. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, anyway. Today I have Matt Ross and Carlos Vega from AJRoss. Good morning, guys. Next week we'll have, I believe, Darcy. What's Darcy's last name? Knapp from SEO Mechanics. She's an SEO company near the Albany area that's been helping us out, and she'll give us her input of what's going on with SEO and the new ways, the algorithms of Google and all that other stuff.
How it all works.
Yes. So today we're going to be trying to do in a layman's way to explain the new ways, not new ways, but how things are changing on marketing and advertising digitally, and how new algorithms for Google is going to be happening in the next year, and especially in 2020. So we'll go through that. So seeing that we're going to be talking about online advertising and all that sort of stuff, I have a quote. And it's from Jeff Bezos. He's the founder and CEO of Amazon. And he says, it's hard to find things that won't sell online. It's pretty cool. It's true, The internet has an enormous power. 55% of the world's population, about 3.2 billion, uses the internet. From a pack of table salt to a laptop or various expensive stuff, everything is being sold online. So no matter how economical or expensive product you manufacture, make it available online to increase the reach and revenue. And I have one more. Okay?
Okay. The show's going to be over by the time we're done with these quotes.
That's good. Content is fire. Social media is gasoline. That's a pretty good quote. Should I say that again? Content is fire. Social media is gasoline. And that's Jay Bauer, founder of Convince and Convert. The statement very well demonstrates the bond between the content and social media. Content solely doesn't make any impact until it's not shared over the internet. And social media is nothing without the content.
You started out the show good, and you lost it a little bit there.
Okay. Well, I'm giving it to you guys. What I want to talk about, there's so many different things that are happening.
Well, you were talking this morning about voice search.
Yes. That's...
which everybody's using nowadays with Alexa and Google and all these devices in our houses.
Well, from what I've been reading, it's estimated that 50% of all searches by 2020 will be voice searches.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you'll say, well, how are you going to do that? Well, it's called Alexa. It's called Siri. It's already out there, but Google is really working on the algorithms that you have to be programmed to be able to do that sort of stuff. So there's another whole thing, Matt, you have to do.
Yeah, something we'll have to read up on. I don't really like personally doing the voice searches, especially with Google. I know the machines are always listening, but I don't personally like having the Google in my home just constantly tracking the things that I'm saying. But it's the big thing. Everybody has it, so we have to keep up with it.
Yeah, well, I don't care if you have it in your house or you don't have it in your house. You better know how to do websites that...
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you have a phone in your pocket, they're still listening to
I know it's there. I know it's listening. It's just...
And if you go through a toll booth, they know where you are too, so... Yeah. And I didn't tell you this, but if you look over the TV in your living room, there's a tiny little camera up there.
I'd tape up the camera on my laptop.
No, I'm talking about I put that time.
No,
on.
he seriously, he does. he
No,
tapes up the camera
I
over his
really
laptop.
actually do. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. It's just the way I feel about it all. I mean, it is an intrusion. It definitely 1984. That book in 19.
Well, data collection alone, if people were to realize how intense the data collection is about every individual out there, it's kind of scary after a while when you
Well,
start.
somebody won an election because of that kind
I'm
of stuff.
not going to even go
well,
there.
it's coming up. I mean, because of all how they got into Facebook and did all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's quite the thing.
Well, I was actually reading an article on Wired magazine, posted the other day, because there's this whole meme thing going around Facebook right now. The 10-year difference on your profile, your first photo versus this one.
Yeah, right. Seems innocent, right?
It seems innocent, yeah. And they were actually theorizing. Now, they're not saying this is happening or anything, but it's not the first time memes have been used to collect data for people. But they're talking about it for facial recognition software to show aging process, meaning over time that if you can look at the span of 10 years and you can figure out how a person aged, you can use that as a metric going forward.
Yeah, to estimate what they will look like.
Yep.
And
For all this stuff. And, you know, they're doing a lot of that data now where they used it to find a bunch of missing children within a few days. I think it was like 40 kids or something like that went missing, that they used facial recognition just to find them.
well, there's the upside
there.
of it, I guess, then.
There's the upside, but they're saying that, you know, they were theorizing again, I should say, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities, not to get all conspiracy theory,
Yeah,
but
no, I'm deep in them.
I know you are. But they were just saying that they're having people do the work for them.
Yeah. And AI is, you know, it's always, you know, it's increasing exponentially in what it can do and in the places that it exists. I don't want to get too into it, you know.
Yeah, I know you don't want to go too crazy, but at the same time, I mean, when you look at just general data that we know people are collecting, there's, you know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to share to everybody. Go ahead.
So essentially what's going on is, you just think about Facebook alone. You log in there. What's your age? What's your gender?
Yeah.
Where do you live? What kind of books do you like? You think Facebook just likes to learn about you and you feel all good about yourself, but really they're just collecting all this data that you can use to be targeted with later.
Well, Facebook got in touch with me. They're very annoyed at me because
Everybody's very annoyed at you.
They took a picture of when I first joined and then a picture now, and they said, you look younger now than when we first took the picture. So that's not supposed to be that
That's
way.
called Photoshop.
That's true. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I'll tell you what, you know, I'm very involved in investing in the stock market. And when all of this stuff came through with what they let the Russians do and everything, well, first of all, the stock fell a lot, but now it's coming. I don't own the stock. I just don't want to own, like Matt doesn't like Amazon. I don't want to own the stock. So I might be losing money on it, but I don't want to be any part of it. And I wish I didn't have to be on Facebook, but there's so much stuff going on that you have to be on Facebook.
There is. And like we said, you look at targeting campaigns, which is one of the things we were going to talk about today. A lot of that is based off as much data as you can collect that's out there. And people are just freely giving it constantly, whether they realize it or not, just by leaving a digital footprint. You go to a website, they can tag you and follow you afterwards, which is why people see that same product that they were looking at, those shoes or that pool filter, whatever it was, everywhere they go.
Yeah, I actually, I was seeing ads for a T-shirt a few years ago, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool shirt. Maybe I'll actually, you know, I'll ignore those kinds of ads, but I saw it and I was like, actually, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll buy that. I'll wait a few days though. And then in the mail, I got a gift from some friends of mine. It was the shirt. I was seeing ads because friends of mine were looking at that shirt to buy it for me.
Yeah, it's getting pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be to the point where we don't have to do anything. We just think about it, and Amazon's going to send a package.
Right.
And bill us
but
for
you
it.
know what? We talked about this last week too, with the pods coming. I mean, pop-ups and all that sort of stuff. Amazon's also smart enough to know they have to open storefronts too. And it's like this whole food thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. You walk in there, you snipe your whatever it is in there, and you go and shop, and you walk out.
You're going to snipe somebody at Amazon?
Well, whatever you want to call it.
Swipe a card?
No, you swipe your whatever into their computer when you walk in, and you just go and they can tell what you bought, and you walk out, and you'll get a bill. It's pretty, you don't have to
No
wait.
registers, you mean?
No registered.
Yeah.
It's all...
It's automated.
Yeah. And then I saw a story. It was on 60 Minutes last week. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it was from China, Taiwan. This guy, whatever his name was, he's like the guy for AI, artificial intelligence coming up. And he said they don't know when, but in the next 15 years there won't be truck drivers.
Oh yeah.
There won't.
sure.
You won't be driving your own cars, and because of that, you're going to. There'll be a workforce that'll be completely out of business. So, but then he also said, well, when the Industrial Revolution started in the early 1900s, when they got electricity, I mean, that's when oils or gases for whatever you did for your lighting and everything, they went away. So you have to adapt to the new way. So it'll happen. But he also said that AI is going to really, really come a long way. But one thing he did say, he said AI will never have a soul, which was very interesting. He says, I don't think they'll ever be able to capture the real thing that people think or they feel or their soul, which was very interesting.
There's like the Turing test, which has been around, where they, every year they challenge to see if people are fooled by a robot, basically, to see if like the experience is the same. And so far, it hasn't.
Of course, it's never going to be unless you have a chip someone comes up with, and if it does, that's the end of the human race the way we know it. Which
that's a whole other conversation.
And I won't be here. I won't. 1 minute, okay. So. In the next segment, we'll start talking about the different ways that you can reach your clients and online. And all of a sudden, we've been getting tremendous amount of calls for media buying for behavioral targeting and social media targeting. And when I mean social media targeting, it's not Facebook. It's just using their algorithms and their addresses to go after. So
digital marketing as a whole, it's just a whole new medium that people are really taking advantage of.
Okay, well. Do I hear music? Let me see what this is. Getting very cool with the music, man. Okay, this is AJRoss. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back. This is Creative Marketing on WTBQ.
AJRoss Creative Media is the premier marketing, advertising agency, web design, and social media company in the Hudson Valley. AJRoss connects their clients with prospective customers by generating powerful marketing and advertising concepts. Meet with the AJRoss team and you'll walk away with a new and innovative approach that'll bring your company to the next level. Contact the AJRoss team and set up a free consultation and get started with the best. Visit AJRoss.com.
Clark Howard. This is Clark Howard.
Believe it or not, it pays to wait all the way to your 70th birthday to take Social Security. Almost nobody does that. Well, the payoff can be huge.
Clark Howard, weekdays from 1 till 3.
Hi, this is Mark Chisholm, wine and liquor enthusiast extraordinaire, inviting you to join me every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Wine Time. Wine Time is my time where I get to talk to you about all things alcohol, beer, wine, and liquor. Right here on WTBQ, radio worth listening to.
WTBQ.
Yeah, baby. It's AJRoss again from AJRoss Creative Media. This is Creative Marketing. I'm here with Matt Ross and Carlos Vega. And I just want to say one more thing about this voice search, and then I'll turn this stuff over to you about the other targeting.
That it's not made for people like you that keep stuttering over their own words?
I think you've got to start looking for a new job soon, But no, I can't do that. There's no one who can touch you, man. Anyway.
I think you need to start looking for a new job soon.
What does this mean for optimization as far as voice and all that? What this person said, it means search strategists need to focus on long tail keywords, whatever that is, and conversational language. And this is the way they're going to be doing
Which is already existing out there right now in search engines. It's about, years ago when the internet was first becoming popular for businesses to have websites, it was about keywords. Then it became about key phrases. But now a lot of times people are putting questions and things like that in as a search term and all that.
Yeah.
So that's more of what they're talking about is really what kind of questions are people going to be asking.
And it says voice search will also be more important for local businesses, since 46% of voice search users look for local businesses on a daily basis. Alexa just got a whole lot more real. Okay, that's the end of voice there, and so I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Let's start talking about what we've been doing recently, about some of our clients, well, most of our clients. We've been really building it up a lot more and more, and all of a sudden, because of it, we have to do our due diligence and our research, and there's, I'm starting, I know what it is, we keep up with it, but now that I have to put proposals together for clients, I missed the traditional, you put an ad in the paper, they come. Well, now with all these search things and whatever, it's not as hard as I thought, because if you hire the right company to help you with this, which is very hard to find.
But we've worked in this realm for years. I mean, targeting, retargeting, this is nothing new. It's just about refining it, and it's gotten better. Where when we first were in this whole realm out there was a lot of, I saw a lot of people just misspending their money everywhere, including social media, all that kind of stuff. You really have to know how to target it. You have to know what's going to work for what and divide the mediums up properly. That's where a lot of people are taking missteps. They're just throwing Facebook ads out there. They're throwing social media ads out there, LinkedIn, whatever else it is. They're putting money towards targeting, retargeting without really knowing what their audiences are or where the right areas are to target for their business first. You have to do that research first.
I also want to tell you, Edison Guzman from A&E is on streaming, so he's an expert at that too. We've been working with him a lot.
Yeah, we've worked with Edison over the years.
So if you have a question or some input you want to do, just text it to us on where you are at Edison. We'll put it on the show. So.
Yeah, and in terms of marketing and stuff and your digital, everything is seemingly becoming more of a natural process. Like in terms of where it used to be keywords, then key terms, now it's phrases. It's like turning more into like natural speaking, which kind of leads into the the voice optimization.
Yeah, make it more conversational, because
Right.
that's what people are really doing. They're having a conversation with their phone or their device in their house and all this to ask questions. That's the most commonly used thing for the voice searches now.
Yeah.
But when we're doing advertising, we have a big developer in New Jersey, we're going to be doing a lot of behavioral targeting and that sort of stuff. If once you click on, say we do a boost on Facebook, and they click and they go to the site, you're going to be retargeted with ads from this company, for a while.
Yeah, you can retarget them when
And
they come through.
geofencing, which is something you should explain what that is, and
Yeah, I mean, you've got your basics when it comes to this. You've got your targeting, your retargeting, your geofencing, that have nothing to do with the social media aspect of it. It just has to do with either, when you're talking about retargeting, it's tagging somebody essentially when they come to your website. It's like putting a little tag on them and saying, hey, follow them for X amount of days to remind them of your product and the benefits of it, or your service, or whatever it is that you're doing.
right.
Then that's like Matt and I were just talking about this a little bit ago. He was talking about, the whole T-shirt thing. His friends got targeted based on what Matt was searching for. They were delivered certain ideas, which is another thing. They're always looking for that way to increase shopping experience, to make it easier for you, to remind you of what you were interested in. I get this with all the time. We were talking about Sweetwater before. I go and look at a pedal or something guitar-wise, and everywhere I go, I keep seeing that same pedal everywhere,
Yeah.
just kind of saying, hey, buy me, buy me.
Yeah.
Which can be a good or a very obtrusive thing.
And if, say, this 55-plus community, it's very high-end, there's other 55-plus communities near there and are open on the weekend, we could geofence those people walking in there. All of a sudden, they'll see an ad, because if they have cell phones or whatever, which they do. I mean, I'll tell you a story about cell phones, but if they have it, we can actually pop up an ad while they're in there saying, hey, come to us, we have a better product.
Yeah, geofencing, to explain what that is to everybody. Essentially, imagine an invisible fence around a certain location. So if we're talking about a 55 plus community, it's understanding that audience. Where do they go? Not just other communities that are like that they may be looking at, but what are places that that target audience would go to in the demographic area we're looking at?
Right.
So, for example, if we were targeting people interested in radio stations or something, putting a visible fence around this building, might be one of our target areas. So when people walk in, essentially what you're doing is you're delivering something of interest to that individual.
Right. Now, Edison, don't forget LSI. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, he's also talking about specific messages to people.
Yeah. Who saw your product. You got to learn how to spell, brother. Or service that did not buy. Okay. Do you understand that? Hello?
Yeah. I mean, well, this kind of targeting could be really good for conventions and stuff like that.
Right. But again, if somebody's looking at a 55 plus within 20 miles of this other, and we know they're having an open house, we could geo-target those people that are walking in there and say, hey, you can come here, which is 20 minutes away.
Mean, I haven't had experience with it, but I've heard that even they're targeting where if you walk into a McDonald's, you'll get a prompt on your phone for a coupon to Burger King.
Right.
And they'll say, okay, well, you just went into a McDonald's. Well, we can give you whatever, like soda for 20 cents off.
And then there's Waze, WAZE, which is a GPS traffic, where, and it's free. You go on there, and what it is you're driving, and I have it on all the time because if there's police or whatever coming up, someone will click something saying there's a cop coming down the street, and it's great. Then all of a sudden, when you're going by a certain 10 miles away, they'll say a restaurant close by if you want to go. You click it, and
they're using your GPS location.
Yes, and that's how they make their money is by having people in the area. If it clicks, they make money that way. So.
Yeah. So essentially, just to go back to what Edison was saying on here real quick.
No.
What he's saying is it's not about if you buy a product, it's just visiting a website, which is kind of what we were talking about before as well. You don't necessarily have to buy a product or service for them to target you. It's just visiting that website, seeing what you're interested in, following what you're already engaged with, and making sure you stay engaged as you leave and go on and remind you of that product a little bit.
We're talking a lot about how this is for how you can help with companies to do that. You need to reach out to someone who knows how to do that for you, for your company, like us, AJRoss Creative Media. But there's experts in all of that. Edison's an expert in it. And there are companies that we work with that, for example, I don't want to give away, but there are TV stations, cable stations, big all over the country. They know what you're watching, what commercials you're watching, how you're watching, how old you are, because But
that also goes into behavior. If you're watching shows about lawyers, motorcycles, say you're watching Sons of Anarchy, or you say something like that on social media, they will target you in that demographic.
Right.
For
If you're
people
looking
like
motorcycles. Whoa.
Yeah.
Great minds think alike.
Oh, you had a good moment. Don't hype yourself up too much.
So what's on the horizon for us? What are we? Some exciting stuff is happening at AJRoss.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the CEO.
Oh,
we're going to be replacing him.
Yeah, thanks for the $1 million. I'll call you.
It's a monopoly money.
I'll call you wherever I'm going to be. Definitely can't go to Costa Rica because they're, kidnapping people. I saw on Jimmy Fallon. He was down in Puerto Rico with Emmanuel, whatever the Broadway guy who has that big show on
Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton. They had put it on there to bring money in, and it was a big show about it. And they were walking around Puerto Rico, and they're asking people to come there and spend their vacations there and help build it up. And it's a beautiful place. I'm thinking about going down there. I would ask Matt, but the sun is not good, right?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to go on a cruise with us too, like to the Caribbean. Nah. But maybe we'll go to Alaska. That way. Anyway, so once you, but we're doing some wonderful things.
We are, yes.
I'm going to get home tonight, and my wife is going to say, "Why don't you let them talk?" That's what she says. Because when I'm at home, I don't get a chance to talk. So this is the only time I get.
So get it out.
Yeah, go
Get
ahead.
it all out.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Go ahead. No, like you were saying, just a bit of retargeting, targeting, really taking websites, and that's a lot of what's been coming through, and looking at different ways of designing those and really making them work for our clients that are really interesting in the new responsive method. We've been putting a lot of emphasis into that. We actually just launched our own homepage again.
Yes, it's a
Just
beautiful
revamped
page.
our homepage.
Yes.
For our website.
Graphic design.
Go ahead.
Graphic
Is this your subliminal messaging? You're just going to
Graphic design.
whisper words over and over again underneath?
Graphic design.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, there's a lot about user experience, which we've always spent a lot of time on, but we're building a lot of really interesting websites for clients with different vantage points, which is
Right.
a lot of fun, a bit of a challenge, trying to organize a lot of information into a concise thing, especially within, mobile and responsive kind of design stuff. But it's coming along pretty nice.
Well, we have 1 minute left. The show is starting to become happier and friendlier and really enjoyable to do, because when we first started this, it was specific ideas, but just talking sometimes off the top of your head is a lot of fun. So as I am Howard Stern and you are my Robbins, hello. How much time do we have? 30 seconds. Can I hear some music going out for the next 30 seconds? Okay. So, anyway, thank you for listening.
He's in there like, I'll give you some music.
Yeah, I know. He's wonderful. Our engineer is terrific. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with Darcy Knapp, who's with SEO Mechanics. I'm sure she'll have her input on some of this stuff. Maybe even get Edison on the phone to talk to us a little bit. So this is Alan Ross, Creative Marketing, AJRoss Creative Media. Have a great week.